we did the big drop, right? We had the big Home Depot drop, and David and I from Haunt the Roxbury did a long, almost 8 hour stream, and it was a lot of fun. We got to check in with a bunch of people. We just talked all night, chat about Halloween stuff. It was a lot of fun, but we kind of get to see the beginning of the drop. So I figured let's go live. Let's just check in with people and see how the Home Depot drop went for everybody else. So what I figured is come on, see if anyone wants to join. Tell me, did you get the stuff you were looking for? I was lucky to get what I wanted. If people want to know, I've got the Arachnophobia spider. Super cool. My first giant spider, so I'm excited. I got Tumble the troll. Very excited about Tumble. First one to sell out, I believe, that I saw. And then I got the skeleton controlled by the app. And I thought, hey, he's going to be a lot of fun to play with. I think I've seen people doing some stuff already that got it in stores. I haven't gone back to my stores yet. I know some Home Depots already have product out. Last I checked, mine didn't this weekend, but I'd like to check it out again. But I got what I wanted online. I also got the demon skeletons, and from through a little peer pressure last night, I got the pixies as well. And I think the pixies might show up tomorrow. It had a delivery date for tomorrow, so we'll see if I get them. You'll get to see them and get to see my full review on it. I was a little iffy on the pixie skeletons because they are 5 feet. I kind of feel like pixies should be smaller, but I don't know. We'll see. But I thought, hey, let's check in, see how everyone else is doing. Did you take part in the Home Depot drop? Did you sign on today and see what's still available? Quite a few things did sell out from what I know. Like I said, Tumble the Troll sold out. The Evil Queen we saw sold out. The Leprechaun sold out. I believe the Megalodon Shark has sold out, and the Fisherman that goes with him. So there's quite a few things that did sell out. Now, you could get most of them still in the early morning, right? So you didn't maybe have to stay up all night like I did, but it was still kind of cool to see, you know, what sold out and what didn't. And you still probably wanted to be on by 7 o'clock ish to have a pretty good chance to get almost everything. We've got some comments. Let's see. Hand waving. Hello from Canada. Hi, James. What country? I am from the U.S. I live in Rhode Island. So uh, welcome. Thanks for joining. Javi from San Francisco Bay Area. You were in the stream last night. Yep, I do remember you being there. So you dipped out after midnight your time. So that was like probably 3 o'clock our time. So you were with us for a while. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, did you? I bought supplies to make my haunted mansion from Home Depot, but very few store bought props. Okay, so you didn't get anything from Home Depot, Javi. I did get some. None of them actually fit in the haunt on building. So today I was actually working on the haunt some more after I got about 4 hours sleep. And then I got up and did some more building. But I'm doing like classic haunted house, which I've never done before. I've always kind of done haunted trails, and I had the pirate ship last year. So this year I figure I've made props for classic haunted house. I've never used them because I never had a place to use them. So we're going to use them this year. The props I got from Home Depot have nothing to do with that, but they'll fit on the haunted trail, and kind of a collector of certain things too. They're kind of like big action figures for me. I didn't grow up; my toys just got bigger. But so, what are you doing for your? You're doing a haunted mansion. So you're doing a haunted mansion like Disney style haunted mansion, or are you doing like your own take on what a haunted mansion would be? Uh, James, you didn't get anything from them either. Okay. Was there anything that you were interested in at all, or is it just kind of like, eh? I'll have to be honest, for this year, there wasn't anything I had to have, right? I think my favorite was Tumble the Troll, and I think it's just because I don't know, I just love that big pointy head of his. And I love that fantasy thing. I'm hoping that sometime in the next year I can get the Goblin from Distortions Unlimited. I think Tumble will fit right in with that. I do love the Wyvern. I don't know if the Wyvern ever went live. He didn't go live right away in the morning, and I actually haven't checked to see. I should check to see if he ever went live today. But I do love the Wyvern, even though there were missed opportunities with it. You see the lights come up like he's going to breathe fire, and then nothing happens. Kind of disappointing, right? But at the same time, I think it's super cool looking. But I already have 2 dragons. I do think a fantasy type haunt would be a lot of fun. So I got Tumble. The long story short, I got Tumble, and I got the big spider, the Arachnophobia spider. I personally like the light up feature. Some people hate it. I saw some people making comments and like, "Oh, that's gross. I don't like it." I kind of think it's cool if you have the black light on the spider webs. The spider will actually kind of stand out because in the past the spiders kind of disappear and the spider webs light up. So in this case, you'll see the spider and the webs. I think that's cool. So I got that, and then I got the demon ultra posables and the pixie ultra posables. Let's see. I did a Disneyland S Haunted Mansion. The details are on my channel. Oh, yes. Oh, wait a second. I have seen some of yours. Never mind. I know exactly. See, it cuts the name short on the chat that I'm looking at. I'm using Riverside, and so I wasn't making the connection that it was you. But yes, I know exactly your haunt. Never mind. But everyone else should go check it out for sure. That's the only problem with this. I don't know if there's a way I can see full names on here. So if I'm using an abbreviated name, it's because that's what I'm seeing in my chat here. So I apologize. Now I made the connection to exactly who you are, and yes, that's awesome. So you're doing the Haunted Mansion again this year, right? You're just adding on. I know you're finishing up something you didn't get to do last year. You've been doing videos on that, so that's awesome. Yeah, none of the Home Depot stuff would fit your haunt, so it totally makes sense that you wouldn't have gotten anything. But it's still cool to have you in the chat and join in. It's awesome chatting with David from out in Michigan, so it's great just connecting with people all over the world. And it's interesting too. Like we even had people from, in Germany and the UK chatting, so it's super fun. I love that this brings everybody together. And the Home Depot, even if it's not something you're going to buy, like buy the Home Depot props, it's still kind of like a big event, right? It's almost like the online version of what Spirit used to do, but didn't do this year because they blamed tariffs. Don't believe it. I think that's a load of crock. We were speculating last night. I don't know, some of you might have heard this, that was it Spirit Christmas? Did they do well with that, or did they maybe take a financial hit? And that was the reason why they didn't do the whole flagship. Maybe they had to like save some money because it didn't go well, or maybe it went great. I have no idea how Spirit Christmas went. I didn't get to see one, didn't have any close to me, and I didn't care enough to drive to it. I like to see what others are doing and what stores are selling for inspiration, and that's great. I think that just checking things out, just seeing what's in the community, what people are excited about, seeing what's popular, right? I think that's all cool. It was really interesting this year because I didn't really know what was going to sell out. And some stuff that sold out was because they have lower numbers, like the Evil Queen, the Disney Snow White Queen. She's not a great looking prop. Her eyes are going 2 different directions. She just looks weird to me. But she sold out pretty early. They had low numbers though. When the first time I checked her numbers, she was already down in the 200s. So where Maleficent was up in like 600s, I think, in the beginning. So just because it sold out, just like Tumble sold out, and I keep saying Tumble's the man, but Tumble the Troll sold out. He didn't have high numbers the first time I checked him. He was already under 100. So I don't know. I still like to say he sold out because he's the best. So James, what do you do for your haunt? Do you do like a full display? Is it a walkthrough? Just stuff in the yard? Like, give me a sense of what you do, and everyone else too that's here. Leave a comment, join in. It's just kind of checking in, right? It's funny. Like last night, I got off the stream, and I've been talking. It's about a little over 7.5 hours. It wasn't quite 8 hours. And I was telling my wife, she's like, "Oh yeah, I had people that were there almost the whole time." She was like, "Oh, people wanted to listen to you for that long." Obviously joking, but it was still kind of funny. And I said, "Yeah, I don't know." Also, does my audio sound any better now? It kind of sounded not so great when I listened to the replay of the stream. Does it sound okay now, or is it still kind of off? It's hard because I can't tell till afterwards. I don't know how to hear myself during it. I guess maybe I could watch the live stream on a different computer, but how does it sound? Does it sound any better than last night? Does it sound okay? In the recording, David was a lot lower and I was really loud and it didn't sound great. So I'm going to have to play with that if I'm going to do more live streams. So leave comments and tell me, it's awful. It's okay. Yes, it's okay. All right. Does it sound better than last night? Did it sound kind of crappy last night, or was that just a replay? But good to know. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of check in and just see what the status was of all the Home Depot drop last night. So I'm gonna look quick. I'm curious to see the skeleton stuff still around. The app controlled skeleton, they had like over 8,000 when they started. They still have over 5,000, so they get tons of that. For me, that's a big toy. I'm gonna, when I get it, set it up in the living room, and when my wife comes home or when my son comes in, just start having the skeleton talk to him to the point where it's going to annoy the crap out of him. It's going to be totally great. I'm so excited about it. But all the big skeletons are still around. The 12 footers there. Yeah, he's got over 3,000, so plenty of 12 footers. Notice that the servo big 12 footer did not come back though. So I wonder if he just didn't sell well. I thought for sure we'd see the servo skeleton back, but I don't see him. Reaper's back from last year. He had a decent amount last time I checked. Yeah, he still has over 923. So yeah, the audio was overdriving a bit last night. Okay, thanks. Next time I gotta remember to check the audio first and then see what people say. What I did was I went in and in my settings turned down the volume of the microphone, and that's probably helping a bit. So good to know. I wish I'd known last night, but see, I wasn't smart enough to check. I already had problems starting last night. We were about 15 minutes late because we were streaming and wasn't actually connecting to YouTube. So me and David were just talking. And I was like, I don't see any comments coming in from chat. And then I looked at the YouTube channel, and sure enough, I wasn't live. So technology is, I do okay with it, but sometimes I lose. It's a losing battle sometimes. The hearse did sell out. So I thought that would. I thought that would be popular. So that is gone. The Fiery Reaper is still around. He's a budget price, so yeah, 547. So what else? The big ones they had a ton of. The 15 footers. Yeah, the Galley Crow still has over 2,000, and the Worry Crow, the Scarecrow one, I think he has. Last I saw, he had like 5,000. So I can check that real quick and see. Yeah, he's got over 5,000. So they got tons of those. Don't need to worry about those. The Worry Crow, the big Scarecrow, 5,000 left. There's a pretty decent chance you're going to get him half off. So I like to kind of play the numbers game and watch those. I don't have room for another 15 footer, but there's a pretty good chance you could get him cheaper. Hey, Willie's back as well. A few hours after my order, it was canceled. I had to reorder. Luckily, the ship and the obelisk were still in stock. I wasn't able to get the sapling. Oh, that's awful. That makes me also wonder if I should be checking mine as well. Oh, you know what? That goes to my different email. That stinks that they canceled the order. I wonder why that happened. Well, keep an eye open. I'm sure the sapling will come back in stock. So keep an eye out. And if I see it, I'll try to let you know. But that's such a bummer. You stay up all night and then you get it. And then all of a sudden, a few hours later, it's like, nope, just kidding. You didn't get it. Last year, some of your stuff was randomly canceled as well. What's up with that? Nothing's more frustrating than that. I hope my tumble does not get canceled on me. I'll be very disappointed. I've been talking up tumble the whole night. That's awful though. Keep an eye out. Sapling, I'm sure he's going to come back in stock. We got plenty of time, but it's annoying that you have to go through that. I'm just checking this. Plenty of the zombie barber, still 175 left. He didn't have big numbers to begin with either. What did you guys think of the whole drop? So everything is basically dropped at the same time. Even though the admins on the Facebook pages that have the connection to Home Depot, they were saying a rolling drop. Pretty much everything went live at once. I didn't really see anything come on afterwards. Again, the only thing I never saw was the Wyvern, and I still don't know about the Wyvern. I'm not finding him here. Stripe sold out. Stripe's my man, so always glad to see Gremlins get some love. What about the Nightshade Witch? She still has 422, so she's got plenty. So I think it's interesting to see what's selling and what isn't. Last year's Plague Doctor, 640. He's still good. Now, because he was here last year, that's another one that you might see sneakily slip into that 50% off category. I really like him. So if I could get him 50% off, that'd be awesome. I don't really have a place for him. I mean, I don't have a place for Tumble either, but I'm going to make one for him. But the Plague Doctor, he's a really cool prop. So if he could sneak into that half off, I'd be super excited. We're still super early, so I know 600 can disappear real fast, but we'll see. It's a fun game to play, right? You just keep checking online, see the numbers, and see if you can get it. There's 571 of the Fear Valley Wolf, or the happy dog, the happy zombie dog, as we were talking last night. A little weird that he's wagging his tail, but the face looks awesome. That snarling feature, super cool. I do think he looks a little too dog-like and less wolfy, the way the fur is, and wagging tails it looks a little bit too happy for something that's going to attack you. The spider, I think they still have a lot of. Yeah, there's still 1,200. So I don't remember what the spider started at. It was over 2,000. It might have been 3,000 even. I don't remember, but they sold quite a few. He might disappear. I think they'll probably restock though. So spider, you'll probably be good to get. Nope. Maleficent is still 221 available. I thought she would sell out. I thought she would be really popular. I thought all the Disney fanatics would jump on that. Maybe the Disney fanatics just don't know about it. They maybe don't follow the Home Depot Halloween. So I thought for sure she would disappear. She's pretty cool. But also it was exciting. I got my first walls up on my haunt today. They're actually recycled from the pirate ship last year. So some of the boards I made last year. Yeah, well, yeah, I was surprised about the spider too, but they did have a pretty big stock, right? So I think it will sell out. I think the spider probably will in the next week or so, unless they restock it. I don't know. I think this batch, I think, will sell out. I think you will see it restock though. It seems like that's one that people are really excited about, so they probably pumped up the numbers on that. And let's see. I was surprised to see the Bride of Frankenstein sell out so quickly. I was really kind of hoping she would make it for a while longer, because I still kind of do want her. I didn't pick her up. She's not my favorite compared to Frankenstein's monster, but I do like her, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure she'll be back in stock at some point, but she doesn't have the numbers, so it doesn't look like she's going to be in store. So if anyone's seen her in store, let me know. But from what I was told, if you see the H and the number at the end of the name, those are the in-store items. That's why I was surprised to see that Maleficent didn't have one either. I thought for sure she would be in stores. I thought the Disney ones, like, that's Prince money, right? Disney stuff. All the Chucky stuff is still available. Oh, the Tiffany, they got almost 1,800 left. So she's one that you could see slip into the 50% off as well. Even the Scar Chucky, there's 1,500 online. So that's a good amount. And they're also in stores too. So even last year I was able to find Chucky in stores. We talked about this last night, though, that the Chucky props are a little bit too big. Um, Not quite as bad as the 4 foot Chucky that Halloween Costumes did, but still at the 3.5 feet, Chucky should be, we looked it up, I think it was 28 inches. So if you're going to make the prop, I don't understand why they wouldn't just make it the actual size, and just, if you have to sell it for less money, you sell it for less money. Unless they didn't think they could fit the servos like the way they wanted to in the head. That could be the issue. But there's micro servos, so they could have had smaller servos. I think they could have made that work. Frankenstein's monster, just curious to see. 394, so he could sell out again, at least this batch. Again, I think they'll get restocked for everything, but I was shocked to see the Sitter of Souls is back. She's got 556 still. I didn't know that she was such a loved prop that she came back for a third season. I was surprised about that. The Soul Slasher, or the Pull My Finger Scarecrow, as I call him, he still has 728 as well. So he'll be around. He might be one that slips into that half off. I don't know. What were you guys surprised about last night? Were you surprised to see certain items go quickly? I was surprised by Tumble that the numbers were so low to begin with. Like I said, when we first checked the numbers, so they came live, I bought them, and then I checked Tumble pretty quickly afterwards, and he was already under 100. So does that mean, did they start with 200? Did they only start with 150? I don't know. I was surprised to see him first, but it's because he's awesome. What else do they want to check on here? Yeah, the Wyvern still says that's out of stock. So I don't know if that ever went live. I mean, it could have in the middle of the day, but the fact that everything else went live at the same time and the Wyvern wasn't there makes me think that it's not coming now. It's supposed to be in stores, so I'll check in stores as well. I don't know that I'm going to get them yet. I'm kind of on the fence again. Do I need 3 dragons? I want 3 dragons. Do I need 3 dragons? The Pull My Finger Butcher has 329 left, so he could sell out of his first batch for sure. And he also is not in stores, so that's weird. I would think that their budget stuff they would have in stores, and I don't know. None of this really makes sense to me of what they're putting in stores and what they're not. The Raven's in stores, and he has 575 available. So plenty of Ravens available if you want him. I would prefer to get the Plague Doctor. I think that was the better version, but I don't know. What do you think? The witches scene with the witches staring straight ahead. There's 268 left, so I don't think they had a huge stock. I can't remember. My brain doesn't keep up like it used to, but they still have some around. So it seems like probably maybe half of the popular props are completely gone. Like I said, the pirate ship still there. Hearse is gone. I think the pony's gone. So yeah, I think it was worth staying up for. I think it was definitely worth staying up all night, and it was worth just chatting with everybody anyway. If the dragon could breathe out fog, it would have been perfect. I totally agree. What a missed opportunity. And that, like David was saying, there's probably a way you could rig it. There's got to be some way you could get a fog tube in there. But then you have to time it with the lights coming up, right, so that the fog comes out at the right time. But then I wouldn't even care about the wings not moving, because that would have been perfect, just that fog coming out. But I already have 2 other dragons that do breathe the fire fog, so I guess I don't need it to do it, but it still would have been better. Plague Doctor is your wife's favorite from last year, Willie? They should have brought back the skeleton pirate from last year. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't come back. Again, a kind of budget prop. It's a cheaper. I don't know. And they didn't bring back any Lethal Lily or Captain Cuts. They didn't bring back any of the really Well, I guess they brought back Chucky and Frankenstein, so they have some of the servo heavy, but they didn't do the two non-IP ones, right? So they brought back the IP servo heavy props, and Maleficent is close, but she doesn't have the moving eyeballs; it's just the blinking, so not as cool to me. But let's see, what else do we have on here? Yeah, the Megalodon did sell out, and I was actually surprised that the Megalodon sold out. They had decent numbers this morning still, and as cool as it is, it's a big piece, and it was $350. So I kind of thought that would stick around for at least a few days, but people love their Megalodon. It's going to be the glowing red eyes. Yeah, it would be better if they painted it black. We were talking about that last night. I agree. I agree with you guys. I think the black eyes would definitely look better. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about this drop. It went smoothly, right? It was probably around was like 6:23 ish, I think. We were refreshing all of a sudden they were there, and I'm like, oh, we're live, let's go. But overall, I think it was pretty smooth. It wasn't, except for obviously your prop getting canceled after you ordered it. That's awful. But as far as the drop, it seems like everything kind of went live the way they planned on. So that's good. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's interesting looking at all the stores, right? So now we know Spirit's lineup. We know Lowe's lineup we've known for a while, and seeing Home Depot. So seeing out of all the big box stores, I still think Home Depot is the best of the group for sure. But I did get, the DJ from Lowe's, and I got Back Ben Bonnie from Spirit. I think Spirit's lineup is probably the weakest that I've seen in a while. I mean, last year wasn't great either, but I don't know. Like I was excited to see like, oh, what are they going to do for Jack the Reaper, right? This is their flagship character, and I've seen the videos that have come out recently, and he's just using that same head turn mechanism that they had in the clown last year. And his sayings aren't really that good. Like I was kind of disappointed that this is their character. This is their icon, and I don't know. I was kind of disappointed with that. What do you think of their Jack the Reaper? Now, granted, I've got my own that I got to put back together. I kind of had together, and then I took it apart, and I got the head sitting over here. But so maybe that helps. I've kind of made my own version of it. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled with their Jack the Reaper. All right, so this is my first time waiting for a Home Depot drop. It was very fun. Well, it was great having you there, Robert. We had a blast with you, and you know, I think you got your leprechaun, which is awesome, right? So again, you can have him out around your birthday and celebrate with your leprechaun. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, it was fun just hanging out with people and chatting. And now I wish there was a way we could get more people chatting together. Maybe there is. We've got to figure that out. But it was cool. And David's a lot of fun too. He's got a great laughter. It's infectious, and so we had a ton of fun. But what do you guys think about, going back to what I was saying with Spirit? What do you think about their lineup in general? I had nothing to do with the theming at all. Like they had, other than the big rat, there just wasn't a ton of stuff. I think the fire demon is okay. I think he's cool. I got Back Ben Bonnie just because I think she'll fit the haunt. That kind of creepy walking down a hallway with a flickering light. I think she'll be effective. Yeah, Jack the Reaper's proportions or pose look off to me. Yeah, I get what they were doing with the stand and kind of the thin robe coming up, because usually when you see him, it's kind of just that upper portion, right, with the hands coming out. So I think I get what they were trying to do, but it does look weird. It doesn't look great. I think I would have rather just go with a fuller body, or just have it kind of come up. And it's kind of, I think it's weird seeing Jack the Reaper holding the scythe. I don't know. Usually you just see him with his hands like that. Like I thought, and what I wanted to do with my Jack, right, so far it's just been basic head turn talking, but I really feel like Jack should be one of those props that kind of comes at you and the hands come up, because you always see him with his hands up. So I thought it was even weird that they have him holding the scythe and just turning his head at you and say, "Oh, you can't escape my evil eye. It's too late." I don't know. And his voice was like okay. It wasn't now the voice I did for Jack wasn't necessarily great either, but it wasn't any worse than what they did for sure. So I don't know. I thought we'd get more for their flagship character. Um, Last year was the first time that I got a couple of animatronics in Spirit. They don't do it enough for me most of the time compared to Home Depot and their pricing. Yeah, I agree. Spirit, I always thought Spirit was the jump scare, right? That's what you go to for the jump scares, and that's probably still mostly true. It's not like you don't see jump scares in Home Depot. Lowe's has kind of pushed that a little bit more. I agree, Willie. The nun does look cool. And I didn't really have a place for either. I was trying to think if there's a way I could like change the nun up into a different character. Right, the first time in years that you don't buy a prop from Spirit. Wow. Yeah, I usually get at least one. Like, but even if it's something small like the Hauntress, right, is a great jump scare of just popping out from behind something. Mr. Dark or any of the many clones, a great prop to have because it's just a great scare. Kids love it. And I got some of the adults last year when he was hiding behind the big treasure chest, and then I came up from behind it. So that's always great. And like I do think Trixie was a pretty good jump scare this year, right? She's got the knife and the mask that flips up as she hops up. So I thought she was pretty good. But again, to use her, like effectively, you have to have kind of a scene with trick or treaters and probably have a few statics and then have her pop up. Unless you're doing, just a full on yard haunt with a lot of different themes together, then she's perfect for that. She'd be great to have like along the sidewalk and people walk by and she jumps up with her knife. But I don't know. There's not a lot that I'm really loving from Spirit this year, and it's been kind of like that for the past few years. So I don't know if it's like a financial thing that they're just trying to create simple props, and the bigger mechanisms are more expensive to make, so they make like one or two, like they made the Valak and they've got the Mr. Dark clone, but then and Trixie, but then they've got like the lantern guy, and the other ones are just simple motor movements that they're still charging like $200 or more for. So I know they're trying to make up for the selling the more expensive props and make less money, so they try to make the cheaper ones, but they're charging too much for what they're giving you for sure. And I think Lowe's, I think, is in a weird place where they're like, just they got to work on their pricing. Excuse me. They have some pretty decent props, I think their clown this year is pretty good with the balloon dog. I think he was a decent even jump scare. I don't think you're expecting him to kind of come forward like that. So I think he's pretty good. I think nothing like Home Depot. Whoever's in charge of the Lowe's products, they try to go with the IP, right? They have the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of their big IP, which they totally screwed up with the Hitchhiking Ghost. I still don't understand what they were doing. Hi, Scared Dad. I got the Guardian of the Gourds from Home Depot. Thanks for reminding me yesterday to get it. Awesome. I'm glad you got it. Guardian is cool. I was so excited to see the mouth move when we got these videos, because in the manager's meeting, I don't think the mouth was moving. I said, what a wasted opportunity with those teeth. Once I saw the mouth move, I'm like, all right, he's pretty cool. So I didn't really have a place to put him, but I think he's a solid budget prop for sure. And that's what I think. I got at least Home Depot did, like their budget props are still pretty good, whereas like Spirit's budget props this year are just like, I don't know. That's my thoughts. I think Home Depot is still reigning king for the home props. Then you've got people like Halloween Costumes that's trying to step in, and they released a bunch of stuff that's pretty interesting, but way too expensive. The one lesson we have is a big company like Home Depot is they're keeping the prices lower. They could have raised them, right? A lot. I mean, they did raise them some, right? The cheaper ones went up, but their bigger props, like the 15 footers, was still $400. So I'm glad that they didn't keep raising it. Like, Mothman for Halloween costumes is 500 plus another 100 shipping. He's cool, but he's not $600 cool. That's now I'm in distortions territory, and I'm getting my goblin instead. So I think Halloween costumes, unless they can get the prices back down, they're not going to really take anything away from Home Depot. But they've got some great IP stuff. I thought that, again, Barbara and Adam, I thought looked pretty cool. Like you said, sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments again. I got Art the Clown and the motion tracking clown last year from Spirit. Your favorite types of props. I'll check out the store for Levi's, but won't get any of the big stuff from this year. I thought that the motion tracking was pretty cool, and I thought the clown was pretty cool. I just wish that the whole thing wasn't, look at me, I'm looking at you. Like, make him a cool character that just follows you. Like, have him talking about, like I'm stalking you, and that's it. And not so much like so obvious that, like, hey, look at me, I've got a mechanism that follows you. Look, I'm following you. That was what I didn't like, was the dialogue. But I thought otherwise, he was a pretty cool looking clown. And I think the technology is pretty neat. And Art the Clown, too violent for me. I haven't watched the movies. I probably would find the character interesting, but I don't know. I don't need to see a girl get sawed in half. That's not my thing. I want to keep my lunch down. I don't want it coming out. So save that for all you enthusiasts out there. You go for it. If there's going to be blood and guts and gore, I want it to be like a really silly type, right? Not necessarily that violent. But yes, the mouth movement is everything with the Guardian of the Gourds for sure. And with the military discount, even better. If you get the military discount, that's awesome. So solid prop at a really good price. Yeah, can't go wrong. And Robert said, I feel even last year that the prices of some of the props were still too high when they went on sale at the store near me. Yep, I agree. Right. Pinky on the Brain. Our collection is pumpkin and scarecrow related, and I love the 15-foot worry crow, but it doesn't seem that stable for Florida hurricanes. Yeah, if you're in Florida, I'd be a bit nervous. I mean, I'd probably, if you really tied it down well, you could probably get away with it, but I would be nervous with that too. I totally agree that it's a little bit scary. Even my 12 footers, when I set them up, usually they're kind of near the house if they're going to be up for a long time. The ones I put on my path, I don't get a lot of wind over there, but where the clearing is in my house, I'll get wind. And when I did my levitating Reaper last year, I set him up. He was doing fine. And I left him up for like a week and a half. I was going to get to it to take him down and put him away until Halloween. I didn't quite get to it. And in the middle of the night, we had a storm come through, and boom, he fell down. Yeah, just scratched up just the handle of my car. I don't know how it didn't hit my car more. It just scratched a little bit. And he's slightly bent in, so his scythe is a little bit closer to the body. It hooks kind of over his shoulder a bit. That was my fault. I was supposed to move him or put him away, and I just didn't get to it, and I paid the price. So I totally understand being nervous about them falling over. It had to happen to me. And the 15 footers, especially, because they're, not only the 15 feet high, but they've got the big wingspan. So I would be nervous about that. But yeah, but Guardian of the Gourds is perfect for that whole scarecrow pumpkin theme. So yeah, super cool. And is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? I kind of wanted to jump on quick. I don't need to stay on for too long because you guys heard me for a long time last night. I was talking for a while, and my voice, I can kind of feel it, right? But I decided I wanted to see where people stood after the big drop and, see what people thought. Overall, I think it went pretty well. We've had some issues, obviously. Canceled order. It's never good. And hopefully we can get you that sapling. We'll keep an eye on it. It's going to restock at some point. But otherwise, I thought they had pretty decent numbers, like quantities for most of the big props. Like even some of the really popular ones they'll still have. The App Skelly, they've got 5,000. I don't think they're going to sell out of that many. I was shocked when we saw that they had over 8,000 in the beginning. I know they thought it was their big prop, but that's a lot of skeletons. So I don't know about that. That number seemed a little off to me compared to some other products that didn't have as many. Maybe it was just easier to build more numbers for that. I don't know. Maybe it's a factory thing. Maybe that's why Tumble had low numbers, but I don't know. What again was your order from Home Depot? Do I have pics of my order? I mean, I could share my screen and show you what I got. Hold on. It says. Okay, so I did not get the shark. Let me get back. I got the Arachnophobia spider. So I got this guy, my first big spider. I'm very excited about. Super cool. I think the face looks great. I think the hairy joints. You gotta zoom in on the hairy joints, right? But yeah, he's 9.5 feet long, so he's gonna be cool. I'm very excited about him. And then let's go back. Come on. Oh, you know, I could just go into the product list. That would be easier. I didn't get those. Some items I just threw on just so I could kind of track them. So I got these guys. This is my peer pressure buy. I kept asking. I wanted them, but I was like, oh, do I really need them? I'm not sure. Thank you for the peer pressure, everyone. I did get them. So there they are. They're actually the first one coming. I think they're coming tomorrow. So that'll be a fun unboxing. And then I got the demon skeletons, which I think look super cool. Again, the ultra posable. They get the kind of spiky bones and everything. I love the way the horns look on the head. I think the wings look cool. So yeah, very excited about the demon skeletons. And they'd be great. And they'd probably go around the Predator of the Night, make like that whole kind of scene there. All the kind of like demon monster bat things. Tumble, my man Tumble, here he is. Love that little pot belly and that big pointy head. I think he's just a lot of fun. Look at him spin around. Very excited for Tumble. He's the one I'm most excited to get. I don't know why. Like when I first saw him, I thought, yeah, he's all right. Now I'm in love with Tumble. And then the App Skelly was the last one I got. And I just think he's going to be so much fun to play with. Again, I think the live feature is going to be a ton of fun. Programming what you want to say. You know, I played with it making my own skeletons, but something I can just pull out of the box, and you could probably throw a costume on, maybe even a mask, right? If you want to change it to a vampire or something else, you'll have the teeth still showing and all that. So you could probably make him to a ton of different characters if you want to. Super cool. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. And so, yeah. What we say? Those guys are cool. And the demon skellies look good too. Yeah, I think the pixies are pretty cool. I'm glad I got them. And the demon skeletons are going to be super awesome. Super scary, creepy. The demon skeletons, they don't move, but they're the ultra posable. So it's just like the ultra posable skeletons. They've got the finger joints. You can really bend them in any direction. Oh, hey Giants, how's it going? Good to see you again. The Skelly is cool, but 280 cool. I think what's cool about him for 280 is that, first of all, Spirit used to sell Grim for 300, and so his Grim had the same turning motion, one arm, and he talked, and he was 300, and you couldn't customize it. So for 280, I don't think that's too bad. You can have up to like 30, I think, save phrases. They're going to be like 30 seconds a piece, but you can have a ton of saved phrases. You can change the lighting so it's stable or blinking. Yeah, and with the head and arm movement, I don't think you can control exactly what they do. I think you can turn it on and off. That's what I've heard people saying. So it's not maybe as customizable as you'd want, but I'm sure people will be hacking it too and making it do even more. So it's a fun toy. I think the live talk feature is the most fun part of it. If you're gonna have them out and just sit back and watch people come to your haunt and interact with them and talk about their costumes and all that stuff, you could have a ton of fun with him. So that's why I think he's cool, and I really just want to play with him and see what he has to offer. And so while I could watch other people do it, it's just more fun to jump in and do it yourself. So I bit the bullet. I got him, and somehow I'll fit him into my haunt. But that was it. That's what I got. I was still looking at the Bride of Frankenstein as one that potentially getting, and the Wyvern with the other one. Bride, I still could try to pick up if she comes back in stock at some point. I'm sure she will. The Wyvern, I was really hoping they'd have a bunch of stock. They'd last until half off, and I could get them for $200. We'll see. I can't even get it right now at all. So who knows what'll happen? But that's the stuff I was interested in. So I think it's mostly like I like the fantasy stuff, so I kind of had that fantasy theme, and then and I'm a sucker for the technology, and that's where the skeleton came in, and that's what I got. And then big spiders are just, they're freaking cool. Everyone needs a big spider, whether you make it yourself or you buy one. At some point, everyone needs a big spider. I was gonna make my own, and then I started making it, and then I got tired of making it, and then I chopped it up and used pieces for other projects. And so I said, you know what, I should get my giant spider now. So, all right, everybody, I think I'm going to jump off now. Thanks for joining me again. I appreciate it. A ton of fun. Thank you for everyone who joined us this morning, last night, this morning. I don't know what you call it. We were around for a long time. The fact that you've listened to me for that long, and then some of you are actually back listening to me again, is pretty amazing. So super appreciative to all of you. Pinky on the brain for the Skelly. Napier Family Lights and Facebook sells servo motors with all the coupling parts for movement. Not an advertisement. I bought from them, and it was good. That's good to know. I'll have to take a look at their stuff for sure. So thank you for pointing that out. Maybe you could dress up the giant skeleton like the ones at Halloween Horror Nights of last year. I don't know if I know what they looked like last year. I didn't get to go, so I will have to check that out, Robert. Cheers, take a nap. I will sleep good tonight. I definitely will sleep good. I got to get my sons over playing at the neighbor's house. I got to go get him, and he wasn't home, and I finished working on the haunt, so I'm like, I'm going to jump on and talk to my friends again. This is great. I'll be later. Have a good evening. Yes, good evening to everybody. We'll touch base again. Do you guys like the live format? Do you want me to do some more of this? It's a lot of fun talking to you. If I have anything worth saying, then I'd love to do it more. So let me know. Let me know if you think we should do more of this. Again, if I could jump on with Halloween Dan or David again at some point too and do some more live stuff, that'd be great. Or if anyone else wants to jump on and do some live stuff with me, let me know. So that's it, everybody. Thank you again. I appreciate all of you. And that's it. I am Scared Dad. Spooky season's coming. Go get ready.